Uganda. And to the right is a map that shows our pictorial presentation of that. The lower part is Kenya, the upper side is Uganda. And it's one of an important ecosystem that was declared as the second transboundary biosphere reserve by UNESCO in 2023. And looking at it in totality, what does it mean to that region? And a study that was done by a team of scientists led by Kefri Dr. Langat showed that on an annual basis, it is contributing over 115 billion Kenya shillings to the economy in terms of both extractive and non-extractive functionalities. Next. So in a summarized way, because sometimes they say photos, it's always said photos communicate in a better way. It had one of those endangered species, looking at the chameleon up there. It's only found in Mount Elgon. It's a vital water tower. It has unique geological and ecological features like Kaptum, which is an important resource. It is also a very important contributor to the local livelihood. Trans Nzoia and of course Bungoma is also the breadbasket of this country. So the whole community is dependent on that ecosystem. We have very diverse biodiversity hotspot, including some of the rarely available plants like Lipolia plant. And of course it has a cultural significance, especially to the Kalenjin community. So there is that all aspects around this mountain that is diverse in nature. Next. But of course, despite the many benefits or the many values that this forest has, there is an interesting story that has been happening. If you see the extreme right, is a forest that was green at one point, and it is visible actually visually, and that was in 1977. But over time, in 2019, it has moved to a situation where you are seeing most of reds coming up, and partly is because of our human activities. It is unsustainable exploitation in terms of certain systems, crop and livestock system, for instance, resulting in overgrazing and other factors that are leading to land degradation. And it's a situation that we are thinking very hard around transforming it so that we bring it back to how it was in 1970s or even 1960s. If you were to go further, you would see that it was a very intact ecosystem. Next. With over 10.1 billion shillings, and it's good that I had a lot of partners operating from the mining, especially Abokwa Gold. I'm sure you to the race Maramoja, yes. But the idea now is to rally all of us under this program, looking at how do we restore 103,000 hectares. That will be comprising of forest land, 35,000 hectares. It will also look at the farmland, 68,000 hectares, and therefore deliver 10 million trees in the next 10 years. And we expect that should be able to take back the ecosystem to the state that it was in many years down the road. And this is actually our clarion call. It is the reason why we are here this morning, basically to say, hey, we need to do something. And now the journey has just begun from this breakfast. Next. So looking at that, of course, the finer details.
For me to be here with you on this wonderful occasion. And before even I can go to my speech, let me start by congratulating the State Department of Forestry. I think you've been able to internalize what 15 billion is all about. Please, let us congratulate them. First of all, they have been able to develop multiple strategies. They looked at green investment, the bamboos, how do we do the red plus that is in the carbon markets, the commercial forest, they looked into that, agroforestry, all these that can act as incentives, but also can boost the economy of Kenya when it comes to the forestry department. They've also looked at the regulatory frameworks that will be able to protect our forests. And I believe you're also looking at the issues of ecotourism and how we can look at the fencing, etc., what we had discussed with the speaker yesterday, so that we can really, Kenyans can really appreciate, because 15 billion is job creation, 15 billion is improving economy, 15 billion is climate resilience, 15 billion is ecosystem restoration. And I also appreciate the fact that you have been able to rally this initiative to multiple national officials, looking at how they can restore their ecosystem. I've worked with P.S. Harry when we were in Ministry of Health at the time of the reforms, and he's quite a hard-working brother, I can assure you that, and a gentleman. He will be able to mobilize partners from health and also from mining, and we thank you for that initiative of picking up Mount Elgon. And again, what we had discussed earlier on mining restoration, that will again position you higher when it comes to ecosystem restoration in your sector. So please pick it up and see how much you can do with the miners. We know miners have a lot of resources, and so we believe that they are a key player in matters of ecosystem restoration. And so Mount Elgon, it is known as the Transboundary Biosphere Reserve, the second of its kind, but now undergoing a lot of degradation, encroachment. We have seen what is going on recently, it's just a week, where we are seeing the landslides that are occurring in Uganda area. And us, we do not know what awaits us. And so it is important that we look into restoration. It has been a mountain that has, for generations, nourished the people, the rivers, and the forests. We celebrate its beauty. We celebrate what it does, feeding into the Lake Victoria to sustain farms, to provide drinking water, for the forests, the carbon sequestration that occurs there, the shelter for wildlife. You forgot, Tarus, to talk about the colobus monkey and the elephants that are there, and other endangered species like the blue monkey and the Brazza monkey. And so we are looking to preserve this, and we are happy wildlife is here to ensure that we are regulating the climate in this situation. Because when Mount Elgon suffers, the community suffers, and Kenya suffers. Mount Elgon restoration is also a peace-building initiative, being a transboundary ecosystem, serving multiple communities. And so, P.S. Harry, you have quite a great task in matters of peace building. This will not only position you, but position His Excellency the President at a higher position when it comes to peace building through environmental stewardship. And so we are really excited. I can assure you of my 150% support of this initiative. We are from the same land, the counties of Bungoma and Trans Nzoia, and we are happy that our brother is taking this up, and we'll assure you of our 100% support. But it's not just about that, it's about the water towers, it's about the community, improving livelihoods, it is about restoration, it's about the President's directive. So my call, because I did not have quite the speech ready, my rallying call is for the partners and donors. We are calling upon you as developers and implementers. Support us in this call to restore the ecosystem because of the critical value it has to our country, Kenya. The private sector as well, as a CSR, look into that. And when we look at green investment, we talked about the bamboo, we talked about ecotourism, beekeeping, sustainable forestry, among others. This is again another area where you can tap into in order to boost the economy of Kenya, but also look at CSR within the area. I like what P.S. Kipto talks about. Kawi safi, hewa safi, pesa mfukoni. That is what will happen once we restore our ecosystem. We have been able to engage with multiple political leaders, the members of parliament, the governors, MCAs, among others. They're really excited about this. And again, our call to them is to also allocate resources. whether it's through NGCDF, whether it's through the FLOCA, among others, to ensure that we are meeting this agenda. And for the communities, let us grow, grow, grow. Let us grow the trees, let us restore, let us rebuild, and re-engineer this strategy to ensure that we are all benefiting. And let's not forget the youth and the women who are, again, a critical component when it comes to restoring the ecosystem. So it is our shared responsibility. Together, I believe that we can restore Mount Elgon. We can secure our climate, and together we can build a greener, a more resilient Kenya. Asanteni sana.